Hey everybody, it's time for another game of History Maker Baseball in our 1987 Atlanta Braves replay. This is game number 5, and rather than putting a whole video out on every single game, what I think I might start doing is just doing some highlights of a particular game and maybe just playing the full game of the first game of a new series. So since this is the final of a 3-game series in New York, we're going to pick this up in the 8th inning. We are tied at 4-4, and I'll give you kind of a recap of what has happened. On the game day chart, in the beginning of the game, the Braves were harmonious and the Mets were dissonant. And as part of their dissonance, they had an injury. Al Pedrique, their backup infielder, is unavailable for this game. Bruce Benedict, courtesy of one of the unusual plays, we did a rare events. I'm sorry, a balks and bogeys that sent us to highlight reel B, and then on highlight reel B it says catcher takes foul, tip off, the mask shaken up. And when we went to the injury results and did the checks there, we found out that Bruce Benedict is going to be injured for this game plus one more. So he was replaced by Ozzie Virgil, which was important. So what happened was, in the first inning, starter Randy O'Neal got rocked by the Mets. A walk, 2 singles, a double, and another walk made it 2-0. Bases loaded, nobody out. But then he came back to strike out McReynolds, gets Howard Johnson to pop up, and gets Santana to ground to short to hold it to a 2-run disadvantage. Then at the top of the second, the Braves came back. Ted Simmons singled, and then Andres Thomas hit a 2-run homer to tie the game at 2. That lead lasted until the bottom of the third. Bottom of the third had the umpire started to come into play. In the first at bat, Keith Hernandez singled off one of the unusual plays again, but then was caught in a rundown. So I just called it 9-3-6 that he was tagged out trying to go to second. Hit it to the right fielder who threw behind him to the first baseman who threw to short to tag him out. Then Gary Carter followed with a single, and then after Darryl Strawberry struck out, Kevin McReynolds hit a ground ball that the umpire, John McSherry, the first base umpire, was questionable on, and the dot came up to make him questionable, so he called the runner safe. So it wasn't a hit, it was basically a fielder's choice, but it kept the inning going. And then Howard Johnson singled to drive in Carter to give the Mets a 3-2 lead. That lasted until the top of the 6th. Top of the 6th, Dale Murphy led off with a single, and Simmons also singled, put runners at first and second. Then Andres Thomas hit into a 6-4-3 double play for 2 outs, but it did move Murphy to third. And then the new catcher, Ozzie Virgil, hit a home run, a 2-run shot, to give the Braves a 4-3 lead. That lasted until the bottom of the 6th inning, when Howard Johnson led off the bottom of the 6th with a fence check, and with his power he hit the home run because you had to roll a 1 to make him not have a home run. So he hit a home run to tie the game at 4 apiece. And now that's where we are as we start the top of the 8th. Randy O'Neal for the Braves started, went 5 2/3, gave up 8 hits and 4 runs, walked 3, struck out 4. Ojeda, the starter for the Mets, pitched 6 innings, gave up 10 hits and 4 runs, walked 2, struck out 2. Doug Sisk is now in the ballgame for the Mets. He is beginning his 2nd inning of work, so he's now semi-fresh. And Ed Olwine, the lefty, has just pitched an inning and a third for the Braves, so he is going to be done. But his spot in the order may or may not come up this time, so we don't know if it's going to be a pinch hitter or not. Right now, used in the game so far, Mazzilli pinch hit for Ojeda in the bottom of the 6th and grounded to a fielder's choice. And that's it for the bench players. Everyone else is still available. So now we have Ted Simmons. Ted Simmons will be facing Doug Sisk to start the top of the 8th. And again, Sisk is semi-fresh. So here's Ted Simmons, and Ted Simmons is 3 for 3, singled twice, and he's doubled, but he was thrown out at the plate on an umpire check in the top of the 4th. That would have given the Braves another run. So let's see what happens here. It's a 1-4-5. We've had 3 umpire checks that have really come into play. 1-4-5. 1-4-5 asks, is he a struggler? No, Sisk is not a struggler. So therefore it's a ground out to the first baseman, Keith Hernandez, for the first out. So Ted Simmons makes an out. And now here's Andres Thomas. And Thomas grounded into a double play his last time up. He did homer his first time up. And against Sisk, we have a 2-3-5. 2-3-5 asks, is he wild? No, he's not wild. He is eager. He is eager, so he will single through the shortstop hole for a base hit unless he's a whiffer. He's a semi-whiffer. The sire die says he is a whiffer, so therefore that base hit has now just become a strikeout. So there's 2 away very quickly here in the top of the 8th. And that'll bring up Ozzie Virgil. He's the man of the hour so far for the Braves. He hit that 2-run homer in the 6th inning that gave the Braves the lead temporarily. So here's Virgil against Sisk. It is a 1-4-4. 1-4-4 asks, does Sisk have flash? No, he doesn't. Is Virgil a hero? No, he isn't. So it's a ground ball to short unless he's a whiffer. Again, semi-whiffer. Decider die says he is a whiffer. So Sisk strikes out Virgil to end the inning. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. And we're going to have a new pitcher on for the Braves. And I believe we might even have a double switch. So we'll be right back with all those changes in just a moment. All right, all the changes have been made. Jim Acker is the new Braves pitcher. He will come in to pitch the bottom of the 8th. And on the double switch, since Acker would have been scheduled to bat second next inning, we've had a double switch. He will now bat in the 5th batting position, formerly held by Ted Simmons. And Gerald Perry will come in and play first base, and he will hit in the pitcher's spot previously. So that double switch is completed. Perry now will bat in the 9th slot. Acker is batting in the 5th slot. And pinch hitting for the Mets, for Doug Sisk, is going to be Mookie Wilson. So Acker has semi-flash quality, and he will be an ace on this first at-bat against Mookie Wilson. And we've got a 3-4-5. 3-4-5, iron catcher, no. Does the batter have a good eye? No, he doesn't. It's a strikeout. So Mookie Wilson down on strikes, and that result was in blue, so we're going to the right now chart. Acker is a hot pitcher thanks to that strikeout, and Dykstra is neutral. So it's a hot pitcher against a neutral batter. It's a 3-5. 3-5 says hot batter. Nope. Fly out to left field. So no manager card used, and that might have come back to bite him on that one. Now there's 2 away, and that'll bring up Wally Backman. 2 outs, bases empty against Acker. It is a 2-4-6. 2-4-6 asks, does the pitcher have control? No, he doesn't. Is the batter eager? He's semi-eager. Decider die says no. Therefore, we got a walk. Active runner will steal. Backman's semi-active, but decider die again says no. So Backman is on first base with 2 outs, and that'll bring up Keith Hernandez. So Keith Hernandez steps to the plate, and it's a 1-3-3. 1-3-3 is blank for the pitcher. It asks, is the batter a slugger? He's a semi-slugger, but decider die says no. It would have been a home run had the decider die come up that way. Instead, it's a fly ball to left. So thanks to the decider die being blank, we've kept the score the same. It is, after 8 complete, the Mets 4 and the Braves 4. Okay, new pitcher in the top of the 9th for the Mets is left-hander Randy Myers. And he will be an ace this at bat. He's also got flash and semi-control. And he'll be facing Glenn Hubbard, Gerald Perry, and Deion James. It is a 2-5-6. 2-5-6. Is he a struggler? No, he's not. Is the batter champion or patient? He's semi-patient. Decider die says no. So we have infield drama. So infield drama. We'll need the decider die because we have a couple of semi-qualities. It's a 6-6. Infield drama. First baseman Gold. He is semi-gold, but the sire die says no. Short-handed play for easy grounder. Otherwise, bungled play, batter safe on first on an error. So, an error on Keith Hernandez has allowed Glenn Hubbard to reach to lead off the top of the ninth. So how do you like that? Glenn Hubbard reaches on the error, and you would think possibly a bunt situation would occur here with Gerald Perry, and that's what they're going to do with the tying run on first base. They're going to go for the bunt. So as we go to the bunt result here, attempted bunt, we need anything other than a 6 basically will take care of it. It's a 2. A 2 says active runner safe at first. Gerald Perry is active, so he will beat that out. He will beat that out. So let's see how that works here. Playing also successful. Okay. All right, so since he was active, he's going to beat that out. So it's a bunt base hit for Gerald Perry, and that puts runners at first and second with nobody out for Deion James. And Randy Myers one batter away from being a struggle already. So Deion James, he's going to bunt as well. Might as well. Runners at first and second. It's a 5, so he's going to get the job done. 5 says out at first, runners advance. So that's a sacrifice hit for Deion James, and we'll call it 3-4 for out number 1. But runners advance to second and third with only 1 out, and now the infield has to come in for Rafael Ramirez's bat against Randy Myers. Rafael Ramirez, the infield is in. And as a matter of fact, manager card is going to be used by Davey Johnson to make Randy Myers an ace. So he's going to be ace, flash, and semi-control this at bat against Rafael Ramirez. It is a 5-5-5. 5-5-5, ace or star, deep fly out to right. So it's a good thing he used it, or else it would have been, well, it would have been a base hit because Ramirez is a scrapper, but it could have been a home run. But instead, it's a deep fly out to right field, but that's still going to get the run home on the sacrifice fly. So Rafael Ramirez got it up in the air deep enough to Kevin McReynolds to bring home Hubbard with an unearned run to give the Braves a 5-4 lead here in the ninth. So even the ace quality couldn't prevent a sacrifice fly. And now I'll bring up Gary Renicky with Perry at second and 2 outs. Renicky the batter. 2-2-2. 2-2-2. Is he a sad sack? No, he's not. It's a double to center field. It's a double to center field unless he's a home run king. He's a semi-home run king. Desire Die says no. So it's simply going to be a double. And yet another unearned run comes in, and the Braves now lead it by the score of 6-4. And that's going to do it for Randy Myers. He is coming out. Davey Johnson's seen enough of him. And Terry Leach is going to be the new pitcher to face Dale Murphy. So Terry Leach is going to come on. Randy Myers could not get the job done. And Terry Leach is an ace, a star with control, with a runner at second and 2 outs against Dale Murphy. It is a 2-2-4. Pitching at home, yes he is. It's a pop out to short, so the inning is over. But the damage was done. We go to the bottom of the ninth with the score. Braves 6, Mets 4. Okay, close the book on Randy Myers. He didn't do so well. 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, a run, although it was unearned thanks to the error on Keith Hernandez. No walks, no strikeouts. So we go to the bottom of the ninth, and it'll be Carter, Strawberry, and McReynolds due up for the Mets. And if anybody gets on, Howard Johnson. So the Braves are not out of the woodwork yet. Jim Acker for his second inning of work is now semi-fresh, and he'll be facing Keith Hernandez. I'm sorry, he'll be facing Gary Carter. Keith Hernandez made the last out last inning. So he'll be facing Gary Carter to start off the bottom of the ninth. Acker against Carter. It is a 4-5-6. Blank for the pitcher. Is the batter patient? No, he's not. Therefore, he flies out to center field. And that result is in purple. And both teams are dissonant. The Mets, because of the game day check. I'm sorry, because of the game day check, and the Braves because of the injury to to Benedict. They are both now in the dissonance category. So we're going to go ahead and let it roll distance against distance. It's a 1-5. 1-5 says pitching team harmony. No, it's a bloop single. A bloop single with a lead die of 1, but nobody's on base anyway for Strawberry to worry about. So Strawberry's aboard with a 1-out single, and that'll bring up Kevin McReynolds. He's the tying run at the plate, and he is a semi-home run king. So Acker has to bear down here. In fact, no, they're going to go and let it slide. No manager choices here. 3-4-5. 3-4-5 is the catcher iron. No, he's not. Does the batter have a good eye? No, he's semi-eager. So it's a strikeout. So McReynolds strikes out for out number 2. And now we've got the all-important at bat with Howard Johnson. But we are going to the right now chart. And Acker is hot because of that strikeout. Johnson is neutral. But Howard Johnson is neutral, but Davy Johnson's going to use a manager card. He is going to use a one-on-one pep talk, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is the proper card. Let me find it here. Manager influence, I'm sorry, manager influence. Right now, chart this at bat. I'm sorry, that's not the right one because that means you go to the right now chart. I'll find it in a minute. I wasn't even planning on doing a video. That's why I didn't have these cards in front of me. And now I can't find the one I need to use here. Maybe it got buried somewhere. Let's see. Still looking, folks. I thought it was here somewhere. Maybe there isn't a card for that. Apparently there isn't a card for that. I thought there was, but apparently there is not. Oh, here it is. There we go. I thought I had this card. It's a one-on-one pep talk. So that means the neutral player becomes hot. So therefore, we've got hot player against hot pitcher. Hot batter against hot pitcher. Howard Johnson, 2 outs. He represents the tying run here in the bottom of the 9th. Hot pitcher Acker against hot batter Johnson. It's a 5-6. 5-6 hot pitcher. Shows best stuff. Retires side to end the ball game. So ground out, so it says the first out is a ground out, so we'll go ahead and call it a 4-3 ground out to end the inning. And the Braves pick up the victory, their second in a row, as they take 2 out of 3 from the Mets here at Shea. Thanks to some shoddy defense by the Mets and some timely power hitting by the Braves, as well as solid bullpen action. 3 1/3 innings out of the Braves bullpen with no runs allowed. So between Olwine and Acker, they did the job and got the job done. Winning pitcher was Jim Acker and the loser was Randy Myers. But I'll come back and give you the totals in just a moment. All right, the final totals for the ball game. Braves win it 6-4. 6 runs, 12 hits, no errors, and 7 left on base for the Braves. 4 runs, 10 hits, 1 big error, and 12 left on for the Mets. Winning pitcher was Jim Acker. He pitched 2 innings of shutout relief to get the win. Losing pitcher was Randy Myers. He gave up those 2 runs in the 9th, although both were unearned thanks to the error on Keith Hernandez. So the Braves go 2-1 on the short 3-game road trip to Shea Stadium, improve their record to 3-2 on the season, and now they go back to Fulton County Stadium, where they will be taking on Barry Larkin, Eric Davis, Paul O'Neill, and the Pete Rose-led Cincinnati Reds. So that'll be the game for next time, but for this time right here, we finish up on Game 5. That was played on April 12th, 1987, with the Braves winning by the score of 6-4. Good night, everybody.